Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our live session, Science Safe Sharks. Thank you for everyone who are joining us right now, and thank you for those who are already watching and watched our previous videos. Guys, for those who missed our videos, you're very welcome to catch up with them on our Facebook and YouTube channels. They're all saved and posted there, so you're very welcome to watch them for the first time or again, how many times you want. Guys, unfortunately, the last Wednesday, we did get interrupted by the storm that was in our area. However, today is a very, very nice, well, cold, but nice and calm day outside. So hopefully there's going to be no disruptions this time. Today we have again Kelly Baker. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us again. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Alina. I'm good, thank you. It's great to be able to finish this off and answer any questions that people have.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kelly. Guys, I'm just going to sum up a little bit on what we talked on Wednesday. So we talked about reproduction of sharks in general, and we focused a little bit more on our egg-laying sharks and the variety of different shark egg casings and their physical characteristics. So today, guys, we're just going to finish up a little bit, and then we're going to get to all your questions. If we run out of time and there's some questions left that we didn't answer, we are going to make sure that we answer to them directly to you. So no worries about that. However, I hope that everything's going to be covered today. Alrighty, guys. Kelly, do you mind we just dive back into that?
Sounds good. Sounds very good.
Awesome. Perfect. Alrighty, guys. So as you remember, we did show you the picture of all variety of our shark egg casing that we collected in only one day, which represents really the diversity of different shapes, different colors, different sizes. They come in all of them, and the sea urchin in the middle over there. So, Kelly, do you mind just telling us a little bit more on what those people are doing? Who are those people, and what kind of project is that we are doing here with the shark egg, collecting the shark eggs?
Yeah, of course. So we were focusing on, as you said, the oviparous species, so the egg-laying species that we do find in this area. And this is just a picture of an example, I should say, of the egg cases or capsules that we have collected. And like you mentioned, a huge diversity in just one beach monitoring trip. So these were the cases that we did speak about. In regards to the project that we conduct, this has been incorporated into our intern and volunteer program for the last approximate 8 years. We became involved with this project through Whale Coast Conservation. This is an NGO, a non-profit organisation or foundation based in the Overstrand area in Hermanus, and it unifies and coordinates and promotes environmental sustainable living in the local area. Conducted throughout the year, so we do conduct these walks throughout the entire year. We aim to focus on this at least once every 2 weeks, and we try to combine it with our coastal or beach cleanup. So honestly, why not? We are there. So whilst we're looking for those eggs, we are also collecting any rubbish or waste that has washed up along our coastline. So simply put, we are going for a nice walk on the beach. But really, we are keeping our eyes open for these egg cases that wash up. Once they are collected, we do identify the species as to which these eggs belong, or to which species hatch from these egg cases. And we would also do measurements as well. We would also be looking out for any evidence of predation. There is a predatory gastropod or a predatory marine snail or whelk that is known to drill into these egg cases and feed on the embryo or the yolk. So just one threat that these little guys are facing. So that's what we do practically for this project.
All right, awesome. Kelly, do you mind to explain us just what's the point of it all? Obviously, as you said, it is a nice walk on the beach, and some people, as yourself, I know that, and myself, we do enjoy doing that. It's something, it's kind of a leisure time for us, really.
Exactly.
But hello, X. But how can you actually apply that into conservation, how can you actually do with any data that you do collect? What do you do with that? How can you apply that?
Yeah, just quickly, hi, Mark. Thanks for joining us again. I think you've joined us every week, so we really do appreciate it. So broadly speaking, in regards to, say, what can be pulled from such an activity, it can help to indicate, say, species presence and diversity. These empty egg cases, they provide an easily accessible source of information on the location of populations and their potential nursery grounds and/or seasons. Identification of those critical areas can help us to propose, let's say, suitable protection or management measures. Furthermore, with our interns and volunteers, we do undertake kelp forest dives or snorkels in the area, which can also back up that species presence and also locate sites of egg laying. And we also support the Oceanographic Research Institute, or ORI, with the tagging. So this allows for capture, recapture monitoring. So a variety of activities tying in the work, contributing to more knowledge. Overall, this does allow for more information to be gathered on egg-laying species in our waters, of which many are endemic to the Southern African waters, and of which some are deemed under IUCN as data deficient. So important work.
All right, that's quite incredible how all this information that you can apply to conservation can be done by just really effortless way of going on the beach and going for a walk. So, and also doing the beach cleanup. So it's kind of two birds with one stone. So it's very, very incredible.
And it's also something that other or anyone can be really involved with. If you have an interest in going and checking these things out, you may live along the coastline and be surrounded by waters that could have species that do lay eggs, and you can go for a little search for yourself. And there are citizen science projects that do involve the public in such things. So yeah, great little projects.
Definitely. No, that it is incredible. Alrighty, guys. So I think this is pretty much a wrap up on our main interview that we was supposed to have on Wednesday, but I'm glad that we had a chance to continue it today. And I think we're going to dive into our questions. I actually have two questions of my own to you. You are aware of one of them, but I'm going to go with the first one.
Okay.
Kelly, what was the most special moment of finding of the shark egg casing, or was there anything interesting that you find during those beach walks? Do you mind just sharing those with us?
Yeah, of course. These coastal areas, I would say, can always produce something interesting. There's usually something to see or observe or find that is quite awesome. In regards to this project in the egg cases or capsules, really it is the finding of egg cases with perhaps something inside. So in our previous stream on Wednesday, we did show a clip of an egg case that did have a viable embryo inside, which was successfully hatched at our International Marine and Volunteer Lodge, a little pajama shark. Now, that's quite a rare occurrence for us. In the time that I've been here, it's only happened twice where we've found an egg case that did have something in it. So it always is quite interesting, and it's a fantastic thing to be able to witness for our team, including the interns and volunteers that were able to watch that embryo develop, but also hatch. Also interesting, but also a little bit disheartening, and it ties into the cleanup, the collection of rubbish and waste, is that, you know, to every egg case that we may collect, we're probably picking up close to 10 pieces of rubbish. So the water waste or pollution we still see is a problem along the coastline. So it's something that we're constantly dealing with. But it's also great to see the passion from our team in following this and collecting this rubbish. So interesting encounters that we could have on the beach, but like I said, a little bit disheartening as well.
No, absolutely. I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers, they will agree that doesn't only happen obviously in our area and all over the world. That is a problem. But the good thing is, in my opinion, the popularity of actually going on the beach and do the cleanups by themselves, that is growing, which is a great thing. So I think we do have hope for our future. All right, Kelly. Yeah, exactly. Kelly, one more question from me. And guys, we are going to confess we did prepare for it a little bit. We talked a little bit about it. Kelly, what is your favorite shark egg you've ever found? Doesn't have to be in our area. What is that?
Yeah, so we highlighted the diversity amongst the shape, colors, and size of the egg cases before. But I must say my all-time favorite is a throwback to my home area, which is Sydney, Australia, and it would be an endemic species to the Australian waters, and that is your Port Jackson shark. So I do have a photo so you guys can see the species. Like you mentioned, this is a question you did ask me the other day, so I am prepared. So this is your Port Jackson shark. You'll find it in the temperate waters around Australia. They grow to about 1.6 meters in length, and it is an egg case that I must say I've found quite a few times. I can recall early memories going for walks on the beach with my mum and sister, and we'd be finding these along the way. So very interesting shape to the egg. You've got that spiral shape. There's also compelling evidence that once the female has laid this egg, she will then go and find a crevice to wedge it into. So that shape actually helps with wedging it into a place that will help to keep the case safe and protected so that embryo can develop successfully. So very interesting egg case, and also very interesting species of shark too.
Absolutely. What incredible ways of nature just working its ways. And absolutely awesome shark as well. Can you encounter while snorkeling or diving?
I was about to say it's actually a very nice shark to also encounter. That egg case there you see on the side is a picture of one that I collected just south of Sydney in an area called Jervis Bay. And it's also one of the areas that I first encountered a Port Jackson shark whilst just out on a snorkel. Yeah.
That's incredible. No, that's absolutely. I'm so glad I did ask that question. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would appreciate that. Alrighty. Okay, guys, thank you so much, Kelly. I actually have something to show as well. I believe you will recognize this. It's actually not mine. This is one of Kelly's collections. I did steal it from the office.
No problem. Just put it back where you got it from.
Yeah, I definitely will. No worries. Guys, I hope you can see it properly. This is a very, very cool thing to see. Kelly, do you want to explain what I am showing?
Yeah, so this is one of the egg cases that we did collect on one of these beach monitoring trips. The interesting thing about this one is that we found it still attached to the substrate that it was originally placed on. So you can see exactly the way in which the female shark would place her egg cases, and she did a good job there because the aquatic plant also washed up with the egg still attached to it. It does look like that that shark did successfully hatch from that egg. The upper edge looks like it's been opened there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. There we go, guys. I'm just gonna try and show it. There we go.
A great find, that one. Hence, it stays in the office.
It will stay there. I promise that. All right. Yes. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, as I said, it is unfortunately the problem everywhere in the world. But thank you for contributing into the change. Hello, Tasha. Thank you.
Thank you for joining again, Tasha.
And Ben, I saw Ben's comment as well. Thank you, Ben. Hi.
Ben is actually one of our previous interns, so I'm sure he can attest to the beach monitoring trips and also the beach cleanups as well.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kelly. My questions are done. and we are going to dive into the questions that we were asked on Wednesday. I want to start with Nikita's question. I did see he is watching us. So, Nikita, thank you so much for tuning back in and asking your questions. We do appreciate the questions that are asked for the... Yes, we do have your question from the previous week. So the question was, do you know any manual book or something like that for shark egg breeding? Maybe some author or special literature. Nikita, we unfortunately we're not experts into captive breeding, into husbandry, but we did get some advice from our friends from the UK, from James, and also from Marike Masson from Two Oceans Aquarium. She's actually a CEO of the Two Oceans Aquarium Education Foundation, and they did come up with the same excuse me, with the same book that we're just going to show you now on our screen. There you go. So this is the book that they both recommended and said that this is pretty much their go-to when it comes to husbandry of sharks in captivity. And you can find it online in PDF version, and you can just download it. So if you can just Google the name, and I'm pretty sure you won't have any troubles finding it. But this is the one that we found out about. And yeah, thank you, Nikita, for the question again. That was also something to learn for us as well. And there is another question from him as well. Kelly, do you mind just answering that? I'm just going to read it out. In some Russian books about ichthyology, authors are writing about eggs and call them caviar, and says it's wrong to call it like eggs. What can you say about this?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. It did make me think a bit, because to be honest, in all the literature I've seen, I've never found the term caviar or even roe used to describe the shark eggs. Generally, I've seen shark eggs, shark cases, or shark capsules. So that's really not something I've seen in any of the literature about the oviparity issues before. So that's very interesting to hear. Just to sort of broaden that a little bit in regards to the caviar and why that might be something that's brought up. Many of you will probably know what caviar is. Very much a delicacy, consisting of salt cured unfertilized fish roe. So fish roe, or the roe, is the egg mass that the female fish produces. But again, it is unfertilized, and they're going to practice broadcasting spawning into the water system, where it will actually be fertilized. But like I said, I've never actually heard anyone refer to the shark capsules as caviar, or for that matter, roe, before. But yeah, very interesting questioning, and something I had a bit of a think about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's also a little bit of a language difference as well, because as you found out, they don't really have the differentiations between the caviar and roe.
No, so I learned a little bit about Russian language with this one. There is no that linguistic differentiation is not there between the words caviar and roe. It's indistinguishable. Yeah.
Yeah. All
right.
We
learn something new.
Exactly. Every day. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Nikita. No worries. I hope we answered that.
Thank you.
Perfect. Alrighty. And we have another question from Constantly Hungry. Not quite sure what's the real name there. But he asked about, or she, what about Shark Week 2020, or did I pass it? All right. So as I explained on Wednesday, the reason why I'm doing the hosting is because Dicky is busy shooting the footage, the documentaries for Shark Week this year. So he's busy doing that. So there's definitely a Shark Week going this year. Kelly, do you have the dates by any chance for that?
Yeah, so Shark Week should be starting on August 9th and running through to August 15th. So you haven't missed it. It is still coming. But keep an eye on our social media pages and channels, because I'm sure we'll be updating about the episodes that our team is involved with.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, we have a question from Ben Arnold, from our intern. have environmental factors caused an increase or decrease in the number of egg cases found along the shoreline, such as trophic level deterioration causing increased gastropod predation? That's an intern
Ah,
question, isn't it?
that is very much an intern question. I'm sure, very much so in regards to the environmental factors. We are experiencing an increase in the acidification of the ocean. So it has been found that those levels can actually influence, say, the shark egg cases. So even though, as we talked about the other day, they are a very sturdy egg case to protect the young, those levels in the ocean do actually deteriorate or do affect the egg cases. And of course, the changing environmental factors can influence the adult sharks themselves. And that, of course, is going to influence their reproduction. But in regards to what we've found, I can honestly say no, there hasn't been an increase or decrease. In regards to, say, weather patterns, etc., environmental parameters and whatnot, there is an association with large storms or strong storms, I should say, and an increase in these egg cases. So the storm that we've just experienced in the Hunspite area, it would be great if we would be able to get out to the beaches here and see what's washed up. Because those storms and the conditions in the water, it does give a push to those egg cases to be washed up, or it can push the substrate that they're attached to actually wash up. The gastropod predation is also probably something I cannot not comment, but of course, with an influence on any level, there is going to be effects on the others because they are all linked. But thank you, Ben, for that question.
Thank you, Ben. All right, Kelly, we have one more. There we go. Karim. Hello, Karim. Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking questions. Would other sharks hunt or eat smaller shark eggs? Oh, it is an interesting question.
So there is evidence for this. So the egg cases themselves, again, very sturdy, and perhaps even camouflage. But we saw that clip that I played the other day, that pajama shark that was developing, and he was moving around quite a bit. And that helps to pump the oxygenated water into the egg case. But that movement can also attract the attention of predators such as other shark species. There are a few studies out there that does have evidence for the embryo or the neonate actually becoming still if they do sense a predator around. So yes, it is possible that the larger sharks will hunt the smaller shark eggs.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Kelly, so much. Perfect. Alrighty, guys. Do we have another question? Nikita, thank you. I saw many videos how shark egg are incubated in laboratories, but does animal after that backs in nature, or they get used as laboratory animals for research? Nikita, it is an interesting question. As I said, we're not quite experts on the husbandry of sharks, so we don't really do that. Kelly, do you have the comment on that?
Yeah, I would back you up there by saying that that's just not something that focus on. So we really don't have the experience to say, okay, egg that has hatched in a captive environment would have this sort of behavior or a decreased chance in a survival when actually released back into the wild. But I know that there has been work done on a number of species and their survival or chances of survival once they are released, and it appears to vary between species.
Okay, Nikita, I hope that answered the question as well as we could.
As best as we could, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, alrighty, guys. It seems like we don't have any other questions. Again, if you do have other questions, you're very welcome to reach out to us, guys. We always happy to answer your questions and to chat to you as well. So please do reach out. Alrighty, guys, we're going to wrap up. Thank you again so much for joining us today again. And so lucky that none of the connection was interrupted. So very happy about it as well. Definitely. Alrighty, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channels. There is some more content coming up. If you do subscribe and just hit that bell, you're actually going to be notified by any content that are coming up. All the videos that are there, you'll know about them for sure. And also, guys, if you do want to know a little bit more on what we do and the research that we do, the studies that we do, please go on our Iron Conservation Trust. There's the website is www.dict.org.za. There is just over here. You're very welcome to see all the research publications. And also, guys, if you do want to support the work that we do, there is a way of donations as well. So, guys, you're very welcome to do so. Again, thanks everyone for joining in, for tuning in. It was a pleasure to have you all here. Kelly, thank you so much for joining in. It is always a pleasure to chat to you about sharks.
Absolute pleasure. And thank you for hosting me this week. I think we had one more question that just popped up from Tasha. Yeah, so she's just asking the most common place you find the egg. So for us here, there are a number of areas that we would focus on. So a beach section, quite a large beach section along the Khansbai area. We also look along the coastline near our harbour section too. It does vary amongst sites, but we generally will find egg cases in these areas depending on the time of the year. But also, it's quite interesting to see the variation amongst the sites, just because it could be an indication for a species presence in those areas, or even perhaps a preference to the substrate that they're going to attach their egg cases to. For example, that Long Beach section that we do work on, you've got a lot of sandy bottoms there and a few rocky bottoms as well, or rocky reefs, I should say. Whereas the side of the harbour there's quite a few kelp forests and rocky sections. So for the places that we find them, those Long Beach sections are fantastic, but you will find them washing up along most of the areas here.
All right. Thank you, Tasha, so much for the question. I'm sorry I missed that. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers, Kelly, again. And have a lovely evening or day, everyone. And next week is going to be me again, Alina, and I'm going to be talking more about sharks. And Ralph's going to be the one, our colleague, he's going to be the one hosting it. So, guys, tune in next Wednesday. Thank you, Kelly, again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.